Okay, I started off my paper with a full page story, which actually starts there and ends right there, about my first writing experience, my first successful writing experience. I decided to take a whole page to write about this because I really wanted my audience to feel like they were experiencing what I was and to get to know where it all began, essentially. It was such a meaningful day, and I just felt like it was something that I had to start off my paper with. So I just wanted to get the whole picture of that. I'll zoom in now. So this right here is actually not what I started having my story begin with. It was edited through the help of my tutor at the Reading and Writing Center. She suggested that I give my audience more of a glimpse to what I was talking about than just to start off with it, which is what I had originally put. Now down here, I put this in italics because I felt like it was something that needed to stand out. It was something that my audience needed to kind of maybe laugh along with me. It's something that I always remember starting it off. I always remember getting up to that podium and saying, "Poppy came to America on a big ship like Titanic." So it's something so simple, but it's so meaningful that it had to stand out in my mind. So, starting off with this story, in my junior year of high school, this is probably the most traumatic moment in my entire writing career. It was something that I was really excited, which I mentioned here. I was really, really excited and anxious to begin, that I bombed it. Like, it was just like crash and burn is what I felt like. So I felt like I had to share it with my audience, and it was just the perfect moment from going from something successful to something that wasn't successful. I decided to add in this dialogue right here with my mom and I, because she has always been my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. She to this day is the one that's always encouraging me to write and to put my writing out there. From early on, she's always been that person. So from right here, I have always had this idea in my mind that if you work hard enough, you'll get an A. Easy, done. But what I learned from this experience right here was that you have to actually do writing the right way. You can't just put words to paper. You have to make it flow. You have to make it work. And that's the biggest problem, I think, that novice people have with writing. So this paragraph right here, I decided to have a little fun with it, and I wanted to let my readers know that it was truly traumatizing to me. I wanted my audience to get to know my thoughts and my panic when I thought that I was going to get an A and I had worked so hard on it, and then to have it come crashing down on me. So I wanted to have fun with my writing, but also make sure that my readers got the point. So transitions. This right here is what got me into a lot of trouble, and I still struggle with them, but now I make sure that I always make it a point to make sure that it's there when I'm editing. I know the importance of it now. I know that they have to connect, that might have to flow. You can't just go from talking about, like I said right here, you can't just go from point A to point B. So it's actually at this moment right here that I had total help with the Writing Center, with my tutor. She was great. I brought in from the pages up in, and then she helped me come up with a plan. I knew that I wanted to get these two stories in there, but I didn't know how to end it, and I didn't know where to take it from there. I have had a lot of experience with writing, but I didn't know what would make it important. So she really helped me walk me through it, and we got to have the whole grand plan was sketched out. This right here. Back to transitions. I remember teaching myself this. It really is, it was so scarring to me that I never make sure that I get points off with it. So I just wanted to put that out there again, that it was something so small, but it made such a difference to me. Then I used this dialogue right here. I again wanted to have fun with my paper. I wanted to make it light. I wanted to make it fun. And so I added in the little dialogue with my best friend's mom, who was also my English teacher. It was actually from this story and then this point on that I learned the difference between understanding versus memorizing. I needed to understand transitions. I didn't just need to know them. So to understand them, I could actually put them into my paper and have it work. So on to my next story, my E&C class. This project has always haunted me. It has always been something that I was the least proud of, still to this day, but it needed to be addressed in my paper. It was one of those most influential moments in my career as well. I decided to start it fully off with this sentence because I hate cliches, and to this day I really do not enjoy reading cliche stories, and it was just so ironic that I happened to be writing a cliche story of my own. I decided to add in a bunch of these questions because I am literally always asking myself questions during my writing process. There's so many internal questions going on in my mind. Sometimes they range from why am I doing this to actual oh, how should I put this in there and stuff like that. So I wanted to put a little bit of that in there to get it across that that's my writing process. This right here, when we talked about this in class, I really remember this project. We talked about the minimum page requirements and how it can be so bad when you're writing because you just have that thought in your mind, oh, I just have to get to 6 pages and then you're done. And that's exactly how I felt with this project right here. And I truly did not enjoy it, and I felt really relieved when it was over. Right here. This was something that played a really huge role in my writing process. Every writer has those aha moments when they realize what they love, what they like, and what they dislike. And that's where I've found out my weaknesses and my strengths. I honestly did not realize that this was the point in my writing career where I realized it, but walking through it and writing this paper helped me realize that. This was also where I realized conceptual change, because just because I love writing doesn't mean I'm good at it all. So just like I love to write nonfiction does not mean I can necessarily write well with fiction stories. So, and then we go on to this one. This past summer, I had one of the most completely new, terrifying, exciting, and extraordinary experience. It was one of those concrete things that when I was in the tutoring center, or the reading and writing center, my tutor suggested that it just has to go in there. It really made a difference in my writing when right here, my supervisor said that her job was on the line. That was a big wake-up call, and it put so much more pressure, in my opinion, than just getting an A. Someone's job was essentially on the line if I didn't write well, is how I felt. It was pressure, but it was great pressure. So then right here, this moment, right in there. The interview was horrible, and I still remember it. I remember wanting to just get off the phone, wanting to leave, wanting to be done with it. And when I was sitting at her desk with Nyla, I specifically remember thinking in my mind, there's no way I'm going to call him back. There's no way that I'm talking to him again. I'm so embarrassed. I will do whatever it takes to not contact him. So that whole moment was another terrifying experience, but it was a completely different experience because, like she said, her job was on the line. And then this right here, actually, when I was going through the paper after I'd already turned it in, I really wished that I had included that I used the same technique of cutting up my paper and reorganizing it as I did with my high school paper. So I wish that I would have put it in there, but I forgot, so adding it in there now. Okay, right here, if it'll let me highlight it. Okay, there we go. This is my favorite line, the favorite thing that I've ever written, how I've ever started off anything. I needed to include it in there because I'm very proud of it and it needs to stand out. This line right here. I can be a major goofball and wanted to continue having fun, so I wanted to put that in there to show that I'm a goofball. Okay, this paragraph. all of this right here is my favorite writing in my writing career. It was hard work, and hard work does pay off when you know what you're doing. So once I realized how I could get that success, it really paid off in the long run. Now this part right here, I realize that editing and tutoring are completely different. I really realize that now after doing all the readings that we have done, but I wanted to add that this is another moment where my writing career took a turn. I had not so much wanted to do writing, but now I also wanted to do editing. And the last page, or paragraph, right here. I chose to end like this because I wanted to complete my full writing experience. I wanted to conclude with my expectations and my current thoughts about what was going to happen for the rest of the semester, what was going to happen with peer tutoring. So I am very proud that it ended full circle, and can't wait to see how my writing experience and skills improve this semester.